Hi, everybody. Welcome to this morning's Swell Heart Monday meditation. I'm so glad that you're here. It's really good to be with you. For the past couple weeks, I wanted to share something that's been going on in my mind and an experience that I had this past week. So I've been really fascinated by this idea of what you seek, you will find. Essentially, what you focus on creates the nature of your reality. And I think of it too in terms of all the social media and news influence that we have and the news feeds that we build, which, like our minds, tend to favor information that confirms the values and the beliefs that we all hold. And whether or not that information is accurate. And I find in my experience that the mind loves to be right, and it loves a good story. And unless we all get curious about what's going on in our mental news feed, it will continually feed us stories that unconsciously confirm biases that we have and beliefs that we have about ourselves and about other people, and about the nature of our world. And this past week, as you know, I'm a new graduate, and I got a last minute call from my teacher, Sarah, to lead her Thursday night in-person meditation. We have a clay studio just around the corner. Sarah's my neighbor. And I had been participating as a part of the meditation circle, but I had never led anything before. So I was deeply honored that she asked for me to lead the meditation. And as soon as I was honored, I felt this wave of doubt creep in. Sarah noticed that, and she said, "I'm happy to ask someone else to be there in your place if you would like that." But she felt that I was the right person, and that's why she had reached out to me. And I knew deep in my own heart that I really wanted to do it. So I decided to ask for 5 minutes. I said, let me just have 5 minutes to take a pause. This conscious, intentional reflection to gain some clarity really about what decision I was going to make. And she said, sure, no problem. And so we hung up, and I just paid attention to what was going on inside of me. And it was a real eye-opener, because I realized all of these negative thoughts were playing in my head, these old stories that I was telling myself about freezing. In the past, I had frozen when I had been on stage in high school. I mean, this stuff went back years, right? I had lost 2 pages of dialogue, and I was punished for it by the person who was my scene partner. And then I had frozen other times when I was in front of people and I didn't remember what I wanted to say. And so this was all happening. And what I realized is that story that I'd been carrying with myself in my head wasn't true anymore for me, and that it kept me playing small. And I also had an ego that was really trying to protect itself from failing. So I talked to myself out loud, and I said, this is no longer true for me anymore. I can do this. And I accepted Sarah's invitation. And in the end, it went great. It was imperfectly perfect. And what I love about meditation and how it relates to the story is that the stilling of the mind, or the taking of that pause, is one of the benefits of meditation. So what happens is we become the observer of our thoughts versus letting those thoughts run the show. And that enlivens a completely new possibility, a different algorithm, if you will, of going to work on the mind over time. And in that experience with Sarah, I decided to change that subconscious nonsense, those stories I was telling myself, into something that I knew to be true, that was different, and that I wanted to believe and create for myself. Instead of I'm afraid and I'm going to freeze up, I told myself I am going to turn nervous into service. And when I put the focus on other, and when I put the focus on how I could be of service, then that actually helped me shift my nerves and shift my mind and think about how I was helping others rather than worrying about my ego and what other people were going to think. So over time, that just leads to a new normal in my mind. Now, if you've meditated before, you may have already had this kind of experience. And if you're new to meditation, you have so much to look forward to. So I think most of you know my story. I think I will skip that part for now, but in essence, meditation has brought me to this place through COVID. I had not meditated on a daily basis for many years. I started when I was young through transcendental meditation. But what I realized through COVID is that I needed to find peace, and I was being faced with some pretty big issues, and meditation brought me to that place of equilibrium again that I was looking for. Today, I'm going to lead you through a short body scan and what's called a focused awareness meditation. Focused awareness puts your attention on an object. Now, the object could be a sound, it could be an image, it could be a sensation, some feeling that you have. But for today, just for simplicity's sake, we'll be focused on something that we have with us at all times, and that's our breath. And by returning to this object of our focus, which is our breath, over and over again, our mind then develops the capacity to slow itself down, to slow the inner dialogue down, and remain grounded in the present moment. And the nice thing with this practice is that you can do it anytime, anywhere, because you have your breath with you at all times. Whether you're a seasoned meditator or someone who's new to meditation, there were a couple of things that helped me immensely when I first started. The first is to let go of any expectations that you have. Treat every meditation as if it's the first one. Have that beginner's mind. And you will have all kinds of experiences in meditation. Some you like better than others. Welcome everything and resist nothing. The body and the mind are really intelligent. They will naturally do what's necessary to help you eliminate stress and nourish yourself. The second thing is, don't try too hard to have a certain experience, but have the experience that you're having. You know, the only effort that we all need to put in is the effort to just put the time aside and to do it. It's okay to have thoughts. I don't know about you, when I first started meditating, thoughts came in all the time, and I was trying hard to get rid of my thoughts. But thoughts are okay, they're natural. Just like the eyes see, the brain, the mind thinks. And so when we have, anywhere from 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts going through our heads, some of them the same every single time, we just need to slow down and observe how that is happening. And when you notice that you have thoughts, just bring your focus back to your breath. Always be kind to yourself, just like a good friend would be kind to you. Approach your practice with some curiosity and gentleness. If your mind wanders and you think that there's something going on that's wrong or should, just let that go. Give yourself credit for being here. And finally, let's stick with the practice. Just like any new habit that you build, it just takes a little bit of time to get into the habit. And then you create this wonderful new relationship with your mind. So we'll be meditating for about 15 or 20 minutes today. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer here. And if sometimes when you meditate, you can get a little cool, or you might need to adjust a little bit, that's totally fine. And let me go ahead and find the timer here. There we go. So go ahead and, let me mention one other thing. So if at any point in time you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you need to open your eyes or adjust, perfectly fine. Open your eyes and then close them again. Or what you can do is you can cap your eyes. So that just means instead of having them wide open, you can kind of have them at half mast, like you're gently staring at a flower or a candle or something ahead of you. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's begin. So I invite you to move into an upright or seated position if you aren't already, and ideally relatively still. You can put your hands in your lap in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And I just encourage you to sit up so that you remain alert. It's easy when you're laying down to fall asleep. So go ahead as you find your comfortable seat. Align your head and your neck and your spine. Maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit, rotate them a little bit down your back. And if there's anything that you can do as you're adjusting or you're sitting right now to make yourself even 5% more comfortable, go ahead and take care of yourself and do that now. You can close your eyes. And begin by taking 3 long, slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth at your own pace. Now let your breath return to its natural rhythm. When you bring your awareness to the breath in this way, you are connecting the mind and the body right here, right now, the place where your life is lived. So become aware of any sounds around you. Maybe start by noticing the ones that are most obvious to you. Perhaps it's the sounds of neighbors or coworkers around you, the birds, perhaps an airplane. And tune in without trying to label or judge the sound. Just notice the quality of it. And the frequency of it. Now become aware of any sounds that are more subtle. Perhaps the humming of a fan nearby. Perhaps a pet. Or the subtle sounds of what's going on inside of you. In your belly or in your heart. What do you notice? Notice that sounds come and go. And whenever you notice the sound, just welcome it. Welcome everything. Resist nothing. Now, drawing your attention to your body. Paying attention to the sensations that are most obvious to you. Perhaps a needling pain that you might have, or the sound of your heart beating in your chest. Perhaps swallowing. And notice the connection points where you're sitting, the support of the chair or the sofa or the ground beneath you. Notice any tension you may feel. And let it melt away, releasing it all, letting it all go. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, just be right here, right now. Focus now on the rise and the fall of your breath. Notice how it moves in and out of your body without effort. Nothing to control, nothing to think about. And if thoughts come in, as they always do, simply acknowledge them without any judgment and let them drift away, like clouds in the sky or leaves on the breeze. And then bring your awareness right back to your breath. And if it helps you to focus your attention, you can silently say to yourself, in, each time you inhale, and out, each time you exhale. Breathe in and breathe out naturally. We'll do this for about 7 or 8 minutes, breathing in and out, and I'll keep track of the time. Anytime your mind wanders, distracted by a thought, just notice and bring your attention right back to the breath without any judgment. In and out. Right here, right now. You're doing everything right. Now, let go of this breathing technique and rest in the stillness. Notice how your body feels, your mind being at rest. Perhaps you feel a warmth or a pulsing of energy or something entirely different. This is the essence of you, the radiance of you. This feeling is available to you whenever and wherever you need it. We'll rest for another minute or so, and I'll keep track of the time. As this meditation comes to a close, I invite you to keep your eyes closed for the moment and welcome in some long, slow, deep breaths. It's important to come out of meditation slowly, to integrate anything that came up for you in the meditation, to gradually become reacquainted with the world around you. You're welcome to move your body, stretch into the space around you if you'd like. And I also like to do this sometimes, rub my palms together. So you're welcome to try it, just to create some heat, and put the butts of, what would you call that? The butts of your palms right on your eye sockets, just gentle pressure. Take a breath in and release. And if you'd like to place your hands on your heart, share a moment of gratitude with me. Give yourself thanks for showing up today and for taking this time for yourself, for honoring your loving and gentle heart. I'd like to share two quotes with you before we end. The first is by Gabrielle Goddard. In the place of stillness rises potential. From the place of potential emerges possibility. Where there is possibility, there is choice. And where there is choice, there is freedom. And the other one is from Brian Tracy's book, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. He says, you are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. So may today enliven the possibility of a shift in your own mental newsfeed so that you create consciously and you choose more of what you'd like to see in the world. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm going to stop the recording and then we can have a quick chat if you would like.